Are you in the middle of rehearsal?
Yes, I've literally just walked out of rehearsals. We've been updating the script, so there's a whole new scene which we're just blocking at the moment. I wasn't expecting that, but to keep it current, to keep it up to date, that's what we've been doing. And I suppose in the nature of the conversation, I just want to get some praise from you, Tan. So I want to find out what was it about the P word that drew you to it and that made you want to kind of come on board and back it, which I'm super happy about.
So I get a lot of requests from my agents to be part of this, part of this, part of this, part of this. The fact that this was called a P word was enough to get my attention, and I'm assuming that was highly intentional on your part
Yeah.
to call it this because it conjures up so many actually horrible feelings. And what you guys portray in this film, this play, is so much of what I felt as a Pakistani young British man
Yeah.
in the 80s and the 90s when I lived there. I was so engrossed or immersed in that culture. And I love it still. Whenever I'm in England, I'm in Manchester with my family, who are very much still part of a strong Pakistani community. And so I felt a real connection to it. And the story that is told of these two men feels okay. It's very much different from my love life and my and where I've taken it, but it starts off in a place that felt so real for me and a version of a story that I'd never seen conveyed. If I were in Pakistan, maybe there's many stories like this, but in the West there just aren't.
Yeah.
There are so few stories told about our people, and so there were so many layers of connection for me, and it was the first time I received something. I've received Asian stuff before. It was the first time I received something and I just thought, oh no, that really does feel like it's partly my story. And I've
Yeah.
got some weight. I hold some weight, or my name holds some weight. Why not use it for something? And so I'm really deliberate and considerate about what I will attach to. If I think that it's going to be beneficial, I will. And this almost feels like you're telling part of my story. Why wouldn't I say yes?
Yeah.
And now I'm going to throw back at you. Why did you write this story? Tell me how it came to be.
Yeah.
Um, and tell me. I also want to know about how our community received it. I have the luxury, just to add to this, I have the luxury of running away. I ran away to tell my
Mm.
story. I don't have to deal with the consequences of the community in real time, and so I
Yeah.
want all of that.
Yeah. So the play started out, I saw a video that went viral in like 2017 of a young woman in Sweden who stood up on a plane and stopped an Afghan refugee from being deported. And I thought that would be such an interesting end to a rom-com. And so it was birthed from there. And then it was sort of like, what if they were Muslim? What if they were Pakistani? What if you had to get up in front of all of your community and say, I'm gay? And what would that look like? So it was born from there. And I'd also worked with people who'd been through the asylum system. So I wanted to kind of put them on stage and tell their story as well. And that's where the play was born. I wrote it really quickly because I kind of became sort of a little bit possessed by it. And also just like, I think how we treat refugees and asylum seekers will be a bit of a blot in our history, this period, especially. And so I was hoping that the play could humanize them and hopefully change that perception a little bit. So there was all of that. And yeah, I wrote it at a time where I wasn't a visibly queer Muslim man in the way that I am now. So I was a bit worried about what's the reaction going to be, what's it going to look like. And I held strong because I thought, other people are dealing with much more than that. But actually, it was such a beautiful experience. Like so many brown queer people came to see the show. I mean, my sisters came, which was a massive moment for them to come and watch it and love it and enjoy it. And yeah, so the thing that I was worried about wasn't actually there. Maybe it's because, we're very open about what the play is. And to pay £40 for a ticket to come and see something, you're gonna, be on board with the issue maybe. But I think
Yeah,
also it was just because it's a universal story and people saw it as a love story.
yeah,
And actually, the worst reaction we had was from right-wing press and them talking about the issues around immigration. So when people do ask me that question, it's really interesting that actually it's not from the community that we thought it was going to be, or,
yeah,
were worried that it was going to be, and
yeah,
actually it was from the other angle. And also, I think hopefully what the play is doing as well is showing that the Pakistani community, brown people, it's not a monolith. There's lots of different opinions and views, and that's what I wanted to kind of show. On the one hand, when it comes to Muslims, there's not one defining sort of outlook to this issue. And then actually within the queer community, as we know, there's problems as well. It's not a utopia. It has lots of misogyny, it has lots of racism, and I wanted to interrogate that as well.
When it comes to the immigration component, um, how's that affected um, the perception? I guess that my question is, with what I did on Queer Eye, it felt like there was a shift, not for large numbers, but for a small group of people, there was a shift in perception of people like me, a Muslim person, a Pakistani, a queer person. Do you feel like you've been able to change any hearts or minds of some of those naysayers?
I hope so, yeah. I mean, one of the big reasons that I kind of really pushed for it to come back was I realized that the piece was sort of bigger than me. That sounds so earnest, but I would get people stopping me in the street still years later talking about it and being like, oh my God, that play, it affected me so much. And I think it is because we take these issues that we read about in the paper and we humanize it. We put it on stage, we make you fall in love with these characters, and then it becomes a personal issue. I really do believe that people in general are kind and loving, and that when someone's in front of them, you're going to help someone. But when they're painted out into the bogeyman and you're reading newspapers and there's all this misinformation, then you are going to demonize them. And that's what I love about the British public and being British is that, yeah, they do put their hand in their pocket to really help. If there's ever a disaster, they're the first ones to give the most amount of money. And I do really believe if someone was in front of them, all of that politics would be thrown out of the window and you would just help the person in front of you.
Yeah. When it comes to convincing, sorry, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
Imagine I was a person who I'm not. Um, Imagine I'm a right-wing person in the UK who's not Asian, who
Yeah.
has never experienced or had an experience with an asylum seeker or an immigrant. How do you convince somebody like me to come and see the show?
And I think I would just say to them, what would it take you to leave your home, your family, your world? Because that's not an easy decision for anybody to leave all that behind. And, we share that in common. We're the same people. So what circumstances would it take you to make those journeys? Like when we see people coming across on boats, it isn't a joke. It's perilous. People are dying, but people are still crossing. So what is leading them to do that? And I think it's that. It's like put yourself in those people's shoes and have that level of empathy, maybe. I think that would be my greatest tool. And maybe because I am a writer and a performer, that's what I try to do with the plays as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think is the main reason people come to see this show?
It has a sense of humor. One, because I think sometimes with work that is from minoritized community, although actually I should say from a global majority community, sometimes we think it's quite earnest, but this is not trying to be that. It's irreverent, it's fun, and it lures you in. I like to think my style is that I lure you in with a bit of humor and then I slap you with a bit of politics.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the show very much does that. It'll be entertaining. You'll get all the politics and all the heavy stuff, but also at its heart, it's a love story. And
Yeah.
hopefully you'll take that away as well.
I find it quite difficult when I'm trying to communicate with a non-Asian audience to embrace content that doesn't look like them but should still speak to them. On one of the shows that I'm on, it's I've got many other counterparts who are not Asian, so it's easy enough for someone to say I can watch that show because even though there's one person that does not look and sound like me, the rest of them do. However, there's a project that I'm a part of called Jelly Boys here in America, that is an English language show, but it's almost an exclusively brown cast. Um, and it was really hard to communicate to the audience. This is a brown show for everybody. This isn't a brown show for brown people.
Mm.
Do you find that that's a difficult that difficult thing to communicate with the P word?
Yeah. So part of the reason I wrote it is because I'd never seen a play on stage where it was two queer brown characters or seeing two brown men kiss on stage. And I think maybe theatre gives you a little bit more room to tell different stories. So it gave me the space to write this in the way that I wanted to. But I'm definitely finding that as I'm writing my next plays and I'm working on other stuff, that in a way there is this like pressure of write white characters so you can prove you can write. That is not just your community. But I'm trying to hold true to the things I want to tell in the way that I want to tell them. My last play at the Bush was called The Real Ones, and it was about the pain of a friendship breakup, treating it like a grand romance, because some of the big loves of my life are going to be my mates. And I was like, oh, I can still keep those characters as British Pakistani because actually we should all be able to just see ourselves in them as two people who are like platonic soulmates, but life tears them apart and they move in different directions.
Yeah.
And that's how I want to keep writing. Be led by the story rather than decisions of like what would be easy or like what's going to get me into certain spaces. I just want to be true to my own interests and
Yeah.
what stories I want to put forward. And yeah, like resist that pressure to automatically be like, oh, I have to prove I can write this, I've got to write this character. And maybe it is like hopefully trying to um open audiences' eyes to kind of watch things outside of their own experience in the same way that some of my favorite novels have nothing to do with my own lived experience. It just taps into something universal.
Yeah. The thing I've had to try and communicate so often over the last 10 years is I've enjoyed your content and connected with your content for so long, even though I don't look like any of those characters portrayed. If I
Mm.
can do it, you can do it. When it comes to this version, this iteration of the show, is it different to the last version enough where if you've already seen it, you should come and watch it again?
Well, I think I gave a spoiler a little bit early on, but like we have a whole new scene. So definitely, and we've sort of updated it. Also, like the beautiful thing with theatre is that it's always different. And it's been a good 3.5 years. So as artists, we've all grown and developed and the work will be deeper and richer. So I'd say definitely if you've seen it before, come back because it will feel like a whole new thing.
Okay, good.
Excellent.
That's all I got.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I feel like you're really good at this because obviously this you do the interviews
This
all
is
the
my
time. But
job.
I
I
should ask.
interview for a living.
Yeah, I feel like I get to ask you a question as well. And obviously Billy works in the fashion world, so I want to know about what was your most like scandalous or like shocking experience in the fashion world. Let's get some gossip.
Oh my gosh, I wish I had gossip. I I this is gonna sound
Spill the
like a
tea, Tad. Come
this is
on.
gonna sound like a PR answer. I promise it's not. There's so little scandal in my world. I keep out of scandal. I'm
Yeah.
just I'm a mom. I've been married for 18 years and I've got my kids. I stay clear of scandal and drama. And when it comes to anything fashion related, something I will make really clear. Fashion was a part of my world
Yeah.
that somehow, because of what I did for a living on Queer Eye and Next in Fashion, I guess, that people just assume, oh, all he cares about is fashion. It is one of the things I care least about in my life. I
Okay.
mean, I enjoy it very
Yeah.
much, but it's of everything that's a priority. I'm like, okay, no, a friend first, a father, a husband. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to write. I want to direct. I want to do
Yeah.
that. There are so many things I want to do. Fashion is such a small component
Yeah.
in my life, and usually it's just I want to make sure that my outfit's right,
Yeah.
but when it comes to anything else, like, I don't care about fashion as long as I like the look that I've got on. And
Yeah.
and the only way I can continue to be excited about it is if it's not my job. It wasn't my job for a while, and therefore
Yeah.
I just got to enjoy it. Then when it becomes your job, it just becomes work. And so, and now at this point, I'm trying to get back to a life where fashion can just be enjoyable again, and it's not something I have to be paid for.
Okay. Just one follow-up question about fashion then. Like, what's your biggest fashion ick at the moment? Like, what do you see if you see some? I'm basically trying to get free fashion advice out of you as well as a
Anytime you
deal,
want.
man.
Anytime you want. Um, Gosh, fashion. I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. I hate a croc. I just hate a croc.
You hate a crop.
I
I
hate.
think I'm with you on that, maybe.
It's horrible, and I don't care how many people try and convince me it's a chic, cool shoe. It ain't. But then also anyone that's so desperately trying to play into a trend edge thing. Find one of the 100 trends that works for you and go for that. If you're living in an entire trend, I can tell that it doesn't work for you. and you're clearly just wearing a costume, and you're gonna look back and hate this in a year.
Yeah.
And so that my fashion ick is desperately trying to be next man. Just find a way to make it your own. I have hit my 40s and now I mostly live in tailoring. And I know that most people in their early 20s would think, well, that's a bit boring, that's a bit plain. Like, yeah, that might be. But it is the real version of me. It's what I feel great in, it's what I feel chic in. And you're going to look back in a few years and think, that wasn't a wise choice. And that's okay.
Yeah, I feel
You
like
don't anyone, go.
no, I was gonna say my sense of maturity is I just realized I don't want to be a peacock. I'm all right with being in the background. Like, just yeah, I'll look decent. That's fine. I don't need to stand
Okay,
out.
well, I need to make it clear. I'm not saying that. I will always peacock. I will.
No, you peacock. That's good for you. I'm very much happy to allow the others to peacock well, and I'll just I'll hang back.
Okay, one fashion question for you. We have a premiere coming up June 1st. June 1st? I believe it just
That's it. Well
do you
remembered.
do you have your outfit locked in?
No, I don't. And I need to because otherwise I'm just gonna panic before and it's gonna be a big old mess. So like, yeah, you're right. I should get on that now, get that sorted so that
I'm
I'm
just
all
so
right.
you know, mine's ready,
Okay.
and you're gonna have to try and keep up.
Really? Is it gonna be something to be that's like a little spoiler? No, I'm really expecting it now.
I
I
think
was thinking I've
I think
decided that I might come as like Jordan from the late 90s with a boob out or something, just to get a bit of attention.
oh, I would love that. And like juicy velour pants. Yes, please.
Yeah. Oh, you've sorted it out for me already, haven't you, Dan? That's it.
That's
Yeah.
the look.
Juicy,
That's the look.
couture, and a boob out, and I'll get in all the papers. And that's me made.
I need to make it clear. Mine's gonna be simple, but I try to. So I start traveling as of tomorrow, and
Yeah.
I to a few places across the world over the next 3 weeks before I get to you. But when I get to you, I planned my outfit, and I think it's chic.
Okay,
Chic.
I'm definitely looking forward to that, and I'm gonna up my fashion game as well, and at least go and buy something new and sort that out. I've had to shave off my hair and my I cut a slit in my eyebrow. Very much Billy is back. The massive performance.
Don't get me fucking started on hair. I've got black hair right now, and it's driving me.
It looks great. I love your grey
Don't
as well.
lie to me. Why would you lie to me? That's such bullshit. You don't have to lie. I know it's terrible. However,
No, it's not.
I look like every fucking Asian uncle. Get out of it. But you know the funny thing is, all the Asians are like, "You look great." I'm like, no. It's just because
My uncles don't look like you. I'm gonna just say that. You look very good.
nah, I'm positive I could pass as any one of your fucking uncles with this hair. But by the time I see you in London, I'm gonna have my old hair back, and you're gonna forget that this ever happened. You'll forget this.
Oh, but you are giving me I'm starting to go a little bit grey, and you're giving me the courage to just embrace it. I think you know what I mean.
I love a grey. How old are you?
Oh, a lady never tells her age. It's like an industry secret. Take it to the grave. Edit that bit out, everyone.
I'm really hoping you're kidding. Are you really not gonna say? Okay, I'm gonna just guess. I'm assuming you're like 35.
Oh, you're so funny. Yeah.
Ish. Okay.
Let's go with that. Yeah.
All right, you'll learn to embrace your grays, and let me tell you, it's better than dyeing it black. It's always going to look a bit.
Yeah. Well, that's just the hassle. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't like those. Waleed, I'm so looking forward to seeing you in person. I can't wait to see the show in person. I'm assuming that I'm going to be blown away. I know that everyone's going to be extremely impressed by the show because it did so well the last run. But with our parting message, what is the thing that you want to communicate to the audience to get them to come to this play?
Just we appreciated and loved the community that turned up the first time. Come again, bring your friends. It's a story that needs to be told. It's a beautiful romance, and it's taken on a life bigger than me. And so yeah, come support it. And a British South Asian story that's queer, something new, something fresh, something we want more of.
That's something for everyone.
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. Waleed, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I'm going to see you in like 2.5 weeks. And I will say that ordinarily I don't give a shit about what anyone's wearing. I never care. I'm too concerned with what I'm wearing. But now that we've talked about this, I will be focused on what you're wearing.
Okay, cool. So I better bring my A game.
Don't let me down.
I won't. I won't. I promise.